Hey guys, welcome back to today's match. We have a in-person match coming from you live from the UWF Falcons Nest. We have UW-Madison versus UW River Falls today. Everyone's playing from our lovely facilities. My name is Quinn Lee, also known as Coach Moomy, and we're getting into banning. UWRF is going to ban Grim right after Rip, and we'll see what UWRF is going to ban for the attacking side. UW-Madison has chosen to ban Maverick. UW-Madison now gets to have first picks on banning defense. And they have chosen Finria. And UW has chosen to buy Soulless. And that has been the end of the ban phase. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. We had some technical difficulties, but welcome back. So my name is Quinn. I'm also known as Coach Moomy, and we're hosting UW-Madison inside our lab today. So everyone's playing from our lovely facilities in UWRF, and we have started the map off here. And it looks like that we're going to have UW-Madison first on defense and River Falls on attacking first. So it looks like they have chosen to have the bomb sites on the upstairs. Well, we do look like we have a few roaming. Recon's going to be roaming, and Arc is going to be roaming. So Buster's here. We probably got a lot of information realizing that those walls are reinforced, so we are going to try and they're going to make an entry here potentially, and they're going to see what they can do. Very interesting to see how these maps are going to, how these teams are going to play against each other. Seems like UW-Madison has brought down that wall, which pretty much gave the information out to River Falls, that roughly where that people are, and seeing. Looks like Lightless is kind of peeking around. Potentially might get picked off by the UWR person, but we do have a first round. Recon has picked off Busters here. We're gonna do a 4v5 with man advantage going to River Falls. But Madison's gonna respond back to getting Study out, bringing it to a 4v4. They were also able to pick off Arc, bringing it to a 4v3, and Elixir picking up another kill onto Jetsony. Gonna be checking these corners. Recon was able to get that get the second kill off. Bringing it to Recon is popping off today with another kill onto Mango. UW-Madison was able to locate that bomb site, And now Recon is now trying to just see how to play this, and was able to get a fourth, and with that UWRF is able to win that round.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Going into round 2. Yeah, just looks like it's going to be a basement bomb site for this round. Very interesting to see how UW-Madison is gonna set up for this defensive. This is a very, from what I saw the other day, a very hard site to take. A lot of corners, a lot. So very interested to see how UWRF is gonna come in and take this.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
And that was my bad. UWF is defending while Madison is attacking. So it kind of looks like UWRF kind of knows kind of realizes how they're going to play. So they're kind of playing together, which has allowed them to really get trades necessary in a situation. UWF might be getting the first pick here, but unfortunately, Pebs was able to pick the Equinect off. Recon trying to get some of these peeks in. Spots one person. Kind of stuck. Recon kind of stuck in a weird place, but UW is going to be able to get one. We'll see if they're able to pick up the second. Was not able to pick up the second, but Steady does go down. Is going to get peeked out. Bringing it to a 4v2.
The attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped.
Orc was able to keep that Peb. Alexa was able to get one off of Orc. And it's all relies on Chesney on a 1v3.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
Madison was able to pick up the diffuser. Chesney now just needs to play this nice and slowly, you know, with time. Buster's now planting the diffuser. Chesney's in a very difficult situation because it is going to be a 1v3, and he gets immediately picked off by Mango there. Going to round 3 is 1-1.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
UWF here trying to get that defense side. Study did go into Asami, which is gonna give you some pretty good barriers. This is gonna allow them to kind of set up and allow them to capture. Azami's is not the only way to destroy the barrier is by explosion. So it's all 100% bulletproof. So it really allows them to create chokeholds for them to play off of. And they're going to be playing out of basement again. Gonna breach this wall. With this information, they practically know that it's gonna be a basement push, basement bomb site, as they have realized that it's defending. So it looks like they're going to be able to get Steady and Raycon out, leaving this to be a 5v3. Like it's kind of getting stuck here, allowing them kind to have to reposition. Madison's kind of all above them, tearing up that flooring, wanting to get some of these peak holes and allow them to try to get some more information out. But Buster's gonna get two. We were able to make it 3v2 now. Equinator and Chesney versus Busters, Alexa, and Mango. Was UWF able to get one on that trade, but gets traded out immediately, leaving it all to Chesney.
15 seconds left. Attackers have recovered their diffuser. 10 seconds to go.
Chesney getting caught out, trying to get that barrier down before they can push forward. And it looked like Mango was there to just capitalize on that noise.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Going into round 4 now. Madison up by 1. UWF just really needs to play as a team. When they play as a team, they can win. Madison's really good at capitalizing on mistakes here. Madison needs to just play. It's just playing off of UWF's mistakes. So
10 seconds to insertion. 5 seconds left. Attackers' objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it. Doorway barricaded.
Recon spawning one, trying to get this early pick off, but was not able to. Madison was able to get a pick off of UWRF, bringing it down to a 5v4. Trying to place it on this breaching charge, and it's going to allow them to kind of get some more information below them. But they're going to try to get this pick off. Peeb.
Device ready.
Knows, has information there's someone in there. Stewie trying to get some information, maybe get a nice little pick. I suspect supposed to be right over there, on the opposite side of that barrier, which they would be correct. Stewie trying to get training some bullets, but none of them look like they connected. But Stewie was able to get that. Was able to get the pick off as soon as they peeked that corner.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser. Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
UWF able to pick off another Peeb. Buster is going to get a pick off of Stewie though, bringing it down to a 3v2. Recon was able to pick off Lightless there. Sounds like the UWRF has the noise indication that someone's on bomb site. And Ark is going to come in, peek them around that corner, and was able to get that kill. Beautifully played by UWF that last round. Seemed like they're playing together a lot, able to get those nice little picks off.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers. Wall secured. Test is out and on the road.
So looking to be an upstairs bomb site. Recon going to be putting down a barrier, allow us to get some extra site control. UW's biggest thing is that they need to play the sites, play site, and it allows them to really be taking defensive angles. With that defensive angles, UWF is really going to be have the upper hand here. UWF trying to get some early picks here. We are going to have a second caster come and join me today.
Oh, yep, it's James jumping back onto the stream. Happy to join you. Now, we are already 4 rounds into it. Walk me through what's going on so far.
Well, UWF has been playing decently. They've been playing they getting a lot of communication has definitely been able to help them. They've been playing. They started off on defense, but still on defense. Madison has, it's just a lot of peeking. It's just standard Rainbow Six procedure.
Absolutely. It looks like we're actually down 2 kills right now, but Arc brings it back, so it's a 4v3. One more to make it even. Let's see if we can break that curse of the man deficit round loss. But unfortunately, it's going more in the way of the University of Wisconsin-Madison. UWRF is down another player. It's just up to Equities and Wecon. Now, defenders, they will have more of an advantage against the attackers, but not when you're holding pixel peaks like that. Lightless takes down Wecon. Equities down to 1 health, and Lightless cleans him up. Cleanly executed right there from the man advantage on the side of University of Wisconsin-Madison. Goodness gracious. What do you think about these team compositions? Do you think that they've been helping, hindering, or do you think it's more or less the gunplay?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. I think that these team compositions, it looks like they're changing quite frequently. I know coming from other games, you have your bread and butter when it comes to your util. Like you have your bread and butter, so constantly changing like they are. You don't get into that groove like you do if you constantly play that one character. I'm also gonna say it also looks like a little bit of gun skill that's also coming into these plays where crosshair placement's everything. It's an FPS game.
Oh, absolutely.
Where your crosshair is pointing when you're not getting shot at. Might make or break that fact that you're going to get the first couple bullets off, which in a game like Rainbow Six could mean your life or death, because one headshot, you're practically done.
Oh, for sure. A minute has gone by, and, there could be absolutely no action in the round, but then there's that 1 second of the pixel peak, and it's the matter of life and death, like you said. But we're jumping right back in after that tactical timeout. Great timeout, I'm sure, for River Falls, walking through with the coach, understanding some of the pros and cons of our certain team comps. It looks like we're switching it up just a little bit, bringing along the Azami for Chesney. Now, what do you think about the Azami pick? Because this, again, is pre-nerf.
Mm-hmm.
So next season, you're actually going to be able to shoot the Azami barricades out. They'll have 999 health, but, in a game, like you said, with Rainbow Six, because guns just do so much damage, even headshots are one-hit KOs, those can be destroyed very, very fast, especially by DMRs. But in this patch, in the current patch that we're playing on, they're indestructible except for explosions or things such as a sledgehammer.
So for me, though, I think the zombie walls and stuff, very useful. If you use it smartly, you can practically make a chokehold. You can make a kill box with those. Where if that wall is placed perfectly, and you're coming close to that, they're going to get killed because of how bulletproof those walls are. So, if used properly, it can be very powerful.
Oh, for sure. Going back to what you were talking about earlier, is that when you're playing one character over and over again, even as a one trick, you always have kind of the similar gunplay. You can improve mechanical skill on whatever gun, but when it comes down to the ability usage, that comes with time and that comes with practice. Azami is one of those very, very high skill ceiling characters. The more you play her and the more you find out where those barriers can go and what little angles you can hold with the circular pixel peaks that they provide, the better off you are. And it looks like Chesney is actually taking a playbook out of University of Cincinnati's from the other day, holding that exact same terrace area in top square. Let's see if University of Wisconsin-Madison is going to be able to get through IT right here. They have already got an IT wall, but can they push in through the Azami? That is going to be the question. A very slow start. Half the round has already passed, and we have gained no ground. Like I said, we did get IT wall, but there was nobody pushing in. Just as I say that, though, Mango falls to Wecon. The first person pushing in gets taken down. That is not good for your entry fragger. And all of those Dokkaebi gadgets are now down the drain. No more phone calls, which means no more information on the side of Madison.
I'm just amazed to see how UWRF is really playing as a team on this round. They'll really stick together, which is going to allow them to, if one gets picked off, they're going to be able to pick up these trades very easily.
Oh, absolutely. It looks like the support player goes down as well as the entry fragger, Chesney. The great shot using those Azami barricades like we were talking about. Ooh, and it was through an Aruni barricade. Fantastic pocket strat that's actually being brought out by UWRF right now. Being able to use those character synergies with each other. giving the Azami some information by posting up those laser gates on entrances outside of the map. So the attackers have to burn them. The leg is going to be seen by Stewie, and Lightless falls.
Fantastic. This round being fantastically played out by UWRF. You know, they're sticking close to each other. You know, able to get these nice little peeks. I mean, Stewie, like, for example, is just getting a nice little peek off there, able to understand where they are.
With the single headshots, both players had great aim and it ended in a trade. But it also ends poorly for Madison. Busters does get a double under the round, but Wecon is there to clean him up with the SMG machine pistol.
That was beautifully played by UWF. I mean, you obviously saw that Buster was really ready to pop off, but because of how UWRF was positioning, they just were able to, they're like, oh, Buster's right there. I'm going to now peek someone. He's trying to take out someone else. I'm going to go in there and get the easy kill to end the round.
Oh, for sure. Lovely gameplay we're seeing here. A lot of stern faces in the player camps, but that just means they're all more determined.
So this is the first time we're going to see UW-Madison coming out with Gridlock.
Oh, yeah. Now, Gridlock is a character that I was talking and praising UWRF for bringing last time I casted their game. This is one of those characters that has kind of shifted into the meta. For a very long time she was out, not even considered, but then a lot of Challenger League teams kind of brought her along and were able to pull out some pocket strats, and then professional players and ranked players understood that, okay, there's a lot more versatility to this character than meets the eye. Because when you compare it to Nomad, Nomad does have those air charges, you can put him above doorways, things like that, but they are very audible, as well as they can be impacted. You can impact track stingers, but if you're putting them on an L-shaped hallway or a corridor that turns into stairs, those trap stingers are going to be able to bounce around the wall, and a single impact just isn't going to take care of all of them.
I'm going to act like I understood that.
Absolutely. It can be convoluted. It's a very, like we were saying with the zombie, he's a high ceiling skill character, but when you throw those trap stingers out as a Gridlock, they can be used as a grenade such gadget where you can throw them behind a piece of cover and then kind of smoke the defender out, or they can be used as flank watch, which is what Nomad is used for, and it's kind of frees up a man. So one person, one gun barrel doesn't have to be dedicated to flank watch. It can just be a gadget instead. So that's why Gridlock is super versatile, especially for this map with a lot of winding corridors and little pieces of cover that the defenders could be hiding. It's always nice to have somebody who has a dedicated flank watch gadget.
And that is 100%. This game is really, if you get caught with your back turned to someone, you're just kind of screwed. I mean, as much as you wish you can just flick back, this game is, time to kill is very high in this game.
Oh, absolutely. This is one of the highest time to kill games I've ever played, honestly, or lowest time to kill, rather. We're actually going to push right into the basement with Wecon using those Ying Candelas. Nobody is sitting here at Pillar in Exosuit, so they might just be able to push right into the lurk parts of Sight, but not Sight itself. In fact, Sight isn't even down here. They're just trying to find the Pulse right now. He's going to be doing some vertical destruction with the C4, but he does take out Stewie, and now he's running back upstairs. That is a free pick for the side of Madison, but traded right back out by Chesney. And what we were just talking about was the flank watch. That is why Gridlock was brought along, being able to cut out those roamers so they can't return to Sight. Good refrag pickup by River Falls, but unfortunately Stewie does fall, and all of his under-barrel grenades fall with him. Chesney does get a second, though, onto Lightless. Man advantage swinging into the side of UWRF. Chesney does have some sort of information on somebody top square. But does she know exactly where they are? See those trap stingers? A little bit of a miss right now, but the point was to try and smoke them out, such as using a grenade. But the shots are missing, and those are shots you cannot be missing. Pieb picks up Chesney with a headshot, but it was a scrappy one nonetheless by both players.
Even though Chesney did not get that kill, it still gives a lot of information out to UWRF. Ooh. She can relay that information to her teammates, allowing them to kind of regroup and kind of regain and try to take back some of the map control they had.
An unfortunate whiff right there by Wecon, but it doesn't matter because those Candelas splurt into every which way direction. Tries to take on the Flash player, but he can't find him, but he does in the end. You can keep shooting that LMG forever, and you will eventually hit something as long as you hold the trigger button down. Equity is going to try and get the bomb down. 5 seconds left. Can this be stopped? Weekon has to cover 1 health. C4 goes out, but it does not catch the planter. Weekon is going to go for the swing, and they go for a trade. Whoa. What a wild last 5 seconds of a round. Holy Hannah. That was fantastic, Siege. Oh, love to see it.
Fantastically played, though.
Oh, for sure. A clutch situation for both players, actually, because if the Madison player takes out the only person who can cover the Ying, that's it for the round. The Thermite is stuck on plant duty. The timer was past the 0-second mark. Nothing could have been done if he got off. The round ends. If he dies, the round ends, and both ways go into the side of Madison. So the coverage by the 1 health Ying was crucial, and he ended up going for the swing, which was very risky, but at the same time rewarding in its own
paid
way.
off.
It definitely paid off.
What do you think of these team compositions with now in this round? What are you thinking about them?
So I think River Falls understands what's working for them. They understand that the flank watch was really good. We do have good roam clear, but I don't think the Zofia is good for roam clear right now, because that's what they did last round, and Stewie was just, there wasn't enough droning. I don't know if there was just not enough information on the board in general, but the Zofia utility was at waste at that point by putting her on roam clear. So instead they're going to switch him over to the IQ, and I think IQ is a fantastic pick for this map because there's so many little corners and little plants that you can hide gadgets in that the IQ is going to be fundamental for roam clear, basically, and information clear. Trying to go more for a blackout kind of style strategy this round to make sure that UW-Madison has no idea which way is up.
Fair enough.
In terms of the defenders, though, we're seeing a large change-up right now. I believe the only character that we saw last round was actually the Kaid and the Pulse, but the Pulse was taken out, or rather refragged almost immediately in the beginning of the round.
New, actually. It's Castle that.
Oh, but the vertical D right there by Busters. That was not expected by River Falls. Whoever was on drone duty did not look up to see if there was any vertical destruction. And this is a common jump out. Oh, and he gets a second. We just keep peeking the same one. Unfortunately, the vert nade does not work out. Just a little too late for that one. It is a 3 to 5 man deficit on the attacking round. This is not where you want to be. We do get IT wall. Nope, we do not get IT wall. The cryo grenade stops it at the last second. And sadly, Thatcher grenades can't clear the cryo freeze out. Can only clear mechanical gadgets such as mute jammers, bandit batteries, and in this instance, Kaid claws. So we're just going to have to wait here until the frost thaws out. And then we can finally get IT wall open, it looks like. So the vertical D can no longer come through from Busters. That's where he was shooting the first floor window. But it might be too little too late. He already got 2 picks from that position. He doesn't need to stay there any longer. He can just hunker down with his teammates and give calls and play for the refrag. That's all you need to do on the defensive side when you're at a man advantage. Castle barricade on top square. They're really trying to solidify this top floor presence. I don't know if River Falls is going to be able to sneak him out, but Chesney has jumped right through the window. It doesn't seem like they're aware. Takes out the Pulse, trying to even it up a little bit. One of the first floor players is down. There's still one more down here, and does Chesney know? Flank watch is going to be crucial. Chesney cannot fall here. She is going to be the cornerstone of River Falls execute. She does not get picked up, but Buster does find Arc. Equities is pinched between 2 players, and Buster's on a quad kill. Is he going to be able to get the ace? We're about to see here. Pulling out the pistol. One of the only pistols with an ACOG, by the way, until next season hits, so that's why it's so highly praised. Finds the gridlock. Is he going to be able to get the ace? And he does! Woo! With a clean little pop shot from around the doorway. An ace on the round for Busters. You honestly don't see support players such as Kaid or Hard Breaches get aces that often, so it is exciting when you do. I really think the detriment of that round, though, was the lack of awareness on the top floor.
I 100% agree.
We did not know why they were on the top floor. If they were, they're either trying to rat and go for a late game flank, or they're trying to do some vertical destruction, which in this instance it was the latter, which is something that is needed to be accounted for on a map such as this. Whenever they pick a western side second floor site or a first floor site, you always need to clear the top floor regardless. Basement, you could go in first floor or you could go in from exosuit external wall, but you're not really going to run those rush strats as much as you will clearing the top floor on those other sites.
So we kind of switched over to Fuzz.
Yeah, it's a very interesting pick right here. I actually like the Fuse pick. This is something that River Falls pulled out as a pocket strategy on Clubhouse. And the reason why I really, really liked it on that map is because there's just so much soft destruction between floors. One site could be picked is the basement floor on Clubhouse, and you can actually fuse all the way down to basement from the top floor if you have enough vertical destruction. So I think that that's the strategy we're trying to pull out here is because this is a basement site, but there's multiple floors that have soft destruction, the fuse can technically go to the very top floor and put a bunch of cluster charges in the same spot, and it will go down to the basement floor. So we're going to see what they're going to do. The first fuse charge is actually going to be used perfectly to clear out. This is a great adaptation from the last round. They understand that somebody's going to be holding this vertical destruction in IT, but I think the thing that they didn't account for is that the castle can just shoot the fuse charges if nobody's watching them. The fuse charges need to be accompanied by something else, whether it's gunfire or another breach, which is exactly what Stewie did right here. The fuse charge was meant to cover up the sound of the breach. And we're able to drive that defender from his position. Good adaptation from the last round by UWRF. This is very, very quick thinking. And now the fuse is in, but Mango is still waiting on that south side as the Vigil. Ooh, Wecon does get a good pickup, though, onto Pieb. That is one of the roamers down. Mango is still sitting on this western side now. Creeping up. Might go top square. And this is the 3-floor destruction that I was talking about right now. See, they're able to destroy multiple floors just from the top floor. That's why maps such as this in Clubhouse, when you bring a buck or a fuse, it's almost always likely that they're going to be sitting on the top floor looking in the basement. Chesney with another pickup for going in the way of UWRF. Mango falls, and that is the last roamer. That was the Vigil I was talking about. If you didn't know, Vigil's gadget makes him immune to drones, or at least vision from drones, as well as Lion devices, if you didn't know that. The EE-1D is ineffective against a Vigil using his gadget, but it does not matter. You don't need your gadget when you have great aim, and Wecon shows us that with an AK-12 kill. One of the best guns in the game, in my opinion, honestly, can only be run on 2 people, and that is Fuse and Ace. And the plant is actually going down by Arc right now. They're smoking into default. And the Kaid falls. It's only 1 left in a post-plant situation. 1v3 does get the first kill. Exo onto Arc. But they have him in a crossfire from Pillar, and Exosuit to sight crossfire is unwinnable. Unless you're the greatest player in the game, which even then, I don't think you could do anything against Stewie when he's on a roll. Another round going in the way of UWRF. And I like that you brought up team composition at the beginning of this round because I think that's exactly what saved River Falls this time around.
I think 100% that fuse really did allow them to hold those off angles.
For sure. Bringing along the buck with the can openers as well as the fuse to dislodge them from the castle from his original location on the top floor was the perfect counter.
Stewie bringing out that buck.
Again, the buck, it's been working this well. They're actually bringing the exact same strategy. I assume that they're expecting Madison to go back down to the basement, which they did. It was a correct call by UWRF, but it's very weird that, I mean, if it isn't broke, it don't fix it, but I will say it is very weird that Madison also brought the same team comp. And they were the ones who lost the last round.
I don't believe UWF had a buck last round.
They did have a buck in order to get that 3-man vertical destruction, unless memory serves me incorrectly. But it's a very similar.
I thought it was just fuse.
No, it was fuse and buck in order to get the can opener. I believe that it was the buck that used the can opener. Again, we can play it back, but hardly matters because River Falls is bringing a very similar comp if it is not an identical comp. And Buck still fills the same role as all of the other roles that Stewie would play. Stewie can also play like Ash, for example, things such as that. So any soft destruction is going to be useful. The reason why Buck is so utilized on most maps is, again, because of the range of his soft destruction. He doesn't have to get up close and personal. Neither does Ash, I guess, but Ashes also gets caught by ADSs. Wamai, there's a lot more margin of error with her, whereas Buck can just, click a single button and destroy the board. That shotgun shoots termites, so any soft destruction is going to be gone by the time your Buck gets into that room. Looks like we're just going to be slow and methodical this time around. A lot of droning. This is another adaptation from River Falls that I enjoy seeing is the information game. They understand how important it is to call out where people are as well as where people aren't. We actually spot one right now. Stewie almost takes out the Vigil player. Does tick him up just a teeny weeny bit. And here comes the Buck, creating some more of those custom angles, putting pressure onto the roamers, making sure that they can't escape. The castle barricade does go up, though. Provides a little bit layer of more of extra protection. But does Wecon know exactly where this player is hiding? They actually, the defenders, have set up their own kind of cross angle using their own vertical, or their own horizontal destruction. I'm assuming it was the castle with that super shorty secondary. Although it also could have been the Kaid. Although I think the Kaid is playing downstairs currently. Right now, we're just kind of at a stalemate, trying to take out these two roamers.
Wecon did catch one of the Madison players right there.
We did. Oh, and there's another great strategy that a lot of Fuse players forget about, is that when you fuse a door, such as a castle barricade or a reinforced wall, it actually leaves a small hole that you can shoot through. And a lot of the defenders actually don't know that, at least in ranks, and even in some higher ranks as well. So it's a good little trick to abuse before the enemy can learn about it. Let's see if Madison can adapt and if they know that little trick, or if we're going to be able to use it again. I don't know if they're going to get the chance if Chesney keeps up this kind of pace. Takes out Pieb. Wecon now has caught somebody, but I think they dropped down the hatch. Arc takes another one, and these trades are going back and forth, but Lightless gets traded out by Stewie. And it is still a 4-2 man. He sees the leg. He sees the arm. Do you see the arm, Arc? I know for a fact you have eyes. You can do that. Doesn't find the player, but Mango does get shot down to 1 health. Everyone is in sight. A lot of risk for team kill right now because everyone's going in single file, but it doesn't matter because Arc picks up Exa, and now there's one left in a clutch situation at 1 health. Does take out the first. Let's see if Mango understands where the plant is going down. It is technically a 2v1 situation when the plant is going down, but now it's a 3v1 retake situation. I don't think they know exactly where Mango is. Again, the Vigil is going to deny that information. Now they definitely do. They're going to get a call from Equitis, but he does take the head off of Stewie. Now it is a 1v1 retake situation, actually winnable and very possible. Still down at 1 health, but if he knows where Arc is, that primary SMG or even an impact grenade might be the difference maker. Is he going to show us the secondary? No, he doesn't, because Arc pops up and takes his head clean off. Fantastic round by River Falls. Almost lost in the last minutes, but still made it out alive. Another round going in the way of River Falls. And which map is this again?
This is going to be map 1.
This is all still map 1. So map point for River Falls. The last round was a little bit of a scrap. We did have a good execute on the basement floor, but
I mean, UWF seemed a little shaky there for a little bit, but they really did pull it back.
They did pull it back, but it was on the, waiting arms of Arc. If Arc would have fallen there or made one little misplay from an adrenaline-fueled Vigil player, he definitely had enough time to defuse the bomb, and I don't believe any claymores were set up. So very, very close round, but again, great clutch 1v1 situation from Arc. And a good effort from Mango, but just couldn't seal the deal. Good execute, though, nonetheless. It was just lost gunfights that made that round close, but in terms of strategy, that was near perfect. River Falls being able to clear the roam out, as well as put pressure onto site, which is when the opening pick came from Chesney, is really kind of what split the defenders apart. They weren't able to play as a team because all the attackers were cutting off every line of sight and kind of holding all of these crossfire angles to prevent the roamers from getting back into sight. Going to go with a similar team comp, except instead of running the fuse, because I think we've kind of adapted and I think they understand that it's not going to be as effective for the top floor as it is the bottom floor, bringing along the Iana. Now, Iana clones are very interesting because they can be used just to run in and get very, very quick 1-second drone information, or they could be used as sound cues to try and put on some phantom pressure for the defenders, thinking that somebody's going to be running around a hallway next to them, even though it's just an Iana clone. Or it can be used to take out utilities such as Surya laser gates. And are we going to be able to get our first scrap right here? Wecon is now in a fight with the castle. Oh, and barely nips the top of his head, taking out Pieb.
Loading new mag.
Those headshots in these games are brutal. if you get shot in the head, it's game over for you.
Oh, yeah. It's a one-hit kill. That is the hardest part, is you always want to go for headshots. But sometimes it's very, very frustrating because if you get headshot first, it's just completely game over in less than a second. But we have some trades going back and forth. Wecon does take out Busters, though, in response. But Exa is right there on the refrag, taking out Wecon. It is a 3-3 situation. Let's see which teams have the best coordination. Still half the round to go. A lot has actually happened in such a short amount of time. Still going very slow. There's a lot of outside scraps, nothing really directly into the site. Although we do have Ark looking directly in there. I don't know if the defenders know where he is. Do they know that he's playing top square? Oh, they definitely do now. A very lucky flick by Exa to see where the attackers are. Definitely didn't know he was there until he turned around. Gonna go for this quick pixel peek. Oh, Ark does hear somebody beneath him. Is he going to be able to flick fast enough? No, he's not, but he does have the information now. And while I was saying that the other two players from River Falls fall, so it is just going to be up to Ark in a 1v3 situation. 40 seconds left on the clock. Needs to get these kills fast. He's going to find him. Maybe at least pepper him up. The more damage that he can do to these players, the easier it's going to be to finish this round off, but he doesn't have the information on the first player, and Exa takes that kill. Another round for the University of Wisconsin-Madison, but it is still a River Falls game thus far. Still map point for them as well. How do you think they're going to be able to close this one out?
I think they can do it with this round. I think they just need to play as a team, you know, communicate, actively try to get that working together, you know, play together, monkey strong together.
ape strong together, absolutely. If Planet of the Apes has taught me anything, it's that teamwork makes the dream work.
Monkey strong together.
That's what we're here for. Going back to the attacking side for River Falls, let's see if they're going to be able to drum up a new strategy, or if they're going to do the exact same thing as last round. At the moment, I know that you can change your characters during the prep round, but it seems like River Falls has solidified this composition. They want to go with the Ying plays, which has served them so well earlier this match, as well as yesterday when they did run the Ying and win a few rounds off the back of it. But we might see a switch to the Zero instead of the Thatcher. Both can serve the same role. Both are anti-gadgets or anti-utility, depending on who you ask, but Thatcher is going to be a little easier to use considering you just have to huck a grenade and the huge AoE is going to get it regardless. But the EMPs only disable the utility. I'm assuming River Falls similar to how they were anticipating all of these little adjustments.
We do have a change from Ark.
Oh, we do have another change as well. You're absolutely right. That's what I was. Yeah, the Zero pick is what I'm discussing. Is the anti-utility from Ark is going to be able to destroy the gadgets instead of disable them. So again, like I was saying, these little micro adjustments by River Falls is going to be what's putting them ahead in the first place. Last round they lost because there was a lot of different random pieces of utility. The Electric Claw was actually never destroyed when the wall was opened, which means it was disabled. The wall was open, but it was never destroyed from anybody hopping in or from just going prone and shooting it right above the wall. But with a Zero, they're going to actually be able to destroy that gadget before they break the wall open, which is going to put them in a better advantage to play the long game. Being able to, you don't have to sit there and constantly spam EMPs to get rid of that electricity, because the electricity is going to be gone by the time it's destroyed. We're getting a little bit more into a scrap, playing a little bit more aggressive by Wecon, pushing right into connector, actually. Almost next to half wall onto the head glitch, but Stewie is being gate kept out. Can't join Wecon into this fight yet, unless Wecon throws some Candelas in there to buy his teammate some time. Ooh, and a great swing right there by Wecon, going off of the back of that Ying Candela. Tries to shoot the castle barricade, but using a can opener instead. And Chesney falls on the flank watch, does not know that Exa is playing the stairs. Stewie going for another one right now. Again, playing that half glitch right onto Bush, but instead of playing the actual head glitch, turning around and going into crouch mode. Unfortunate that neither kill was picked up by either side, but Exa does take down Stewie. This is a lack of communication. It seems like we wanted to rush into the map so fast that we forgot that we have drones and we have Zero cameras, which can activate as drones through soft walls. I see 2 more drones in the pocket of Wecon and 1 drone available for Ark. and Equities each. So I'm wondering if these 4 drones are going to be able to come into play later, or if we're just going to go off the information we currently have. Lightless does take out Arc from a very, very small pixel angle. That was crazy. Is he going to be able to claim another one? I don't know why Wecon is peeking this. It must have gotten the call from Zero that he's holding a pixel peek. Do not peek that. We need to find somewhere else to go. Oh, and Exa does get Equities through the wall. A triple kill for them on the round. It's all up to Wecon in a 1v4 with 19 seconds left. I'm not sure if this one's going to be possible. With the LMG, anything is possible, but being this so far away from sight and not even having case in hand, you know, it might be a lost cause.
5 seconds remaining.
Trying to find anybody, but with milliseconds left on the round, there is nothing to do. A tie, actually, going in the way of UW-Madison, bringing it up to overtime. Now, River Falls has to be a little scared, don't you think?
Oh, River Falls definitely a little scared.
Madison winning 3 rounds in a row like that is definitely nerve-wracking for the other team, but they did only bring it up to overtime and tie the game. They are still not winning. Even match so far, but between these 2 teams, it's honestly anything goes. It could be a flip of the coin, right?
Oh, yeah.
Both teams are very good at adapting to the enemy's strategies. That's why they brought so many different character selections this time around. They're actually opting for the Jackal. Stewie is a great flex player, being able to play all of those different roles. Like we said, the Buck, he was playing Ash the other day. Lots of different characters that he could hop on and still frag out. So I think the Jackal is a strict answer to all of the roamers that they were having difficulty dislodging earlier.
Oh, 100%.
10 seconds to insertion.
Now they're actually back on the Thatcher because the Zero didn't work out.
5 seconds remaining.
And I think that's a good idea because if we're not using those Zero cameras to their fullest potential, where we're using them through vertical destruction or using them as stagnant drones, then there's honestly no reason to bring them along. I honestly think that Thatcher would probably be better for this map anyway, just because there's a lot of immediate executions you don't want to do. You can't really afford to be waiting outside of breaches for too long. You want to get the wall open and then jump right in. So I think Thatcher's a little better for those more aggressive plays that UWRF wants to do. I think that's why they brought the Ying, is for those aggressive plays. So the Thatcher should be able to complement that. It's actually an interesting take. Instead of taking the outside of the map and destroying all the windows and trying to make an entrance there, looks like River Falls is going to be hunting down the Pulse. Good adaptation from them, knowing that the Pulse is just going to be playing down low, scanning everybody and giving tons of information to his team. They're going to go and hunt him down on the first floor before taking the second floor. But Lightless does take out Stewie, and that is the Jackal. Good coverage from Madison, but a poor pick. You do not want your Jackal player falling this early for River Falls. Wecon does go down, but may be recoverable. Unless Lightless has something to do with it. Chesney falls as well, and it's technically a 2v5 situation unless Wecon can get up. Now, not so much recoverable, though. I'm unsure if they're going to be going in to finish the kill or if Madison is going to stay away and take this 2-man advantage. Still have the Wombo combo of Thermite and Thatcher. Great combo on most maps, especially when you need to get outside walls, such as IT wall. However, in a 2v5 situation, I think they'd have to work very, very close together in order to get this teamwork to work. It doesn't seem like they have a game plan right now. They're still just talking things out with 1 second less on the round. Wecon finally falls, bleeding out. Equities does see somebody, but misses the shots a little too above his head, and Pieb takes that one. A 5v1 situation. It seems like Arc is calling this round right now. He's going to go for some impactless frags, maybe get a few, pad the KD, pad the stats, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Almost takes out Busters. Busters taken down to 1 and does actually down him, but unable to confirm the kill. Not even 1 kill going his way. A yellow ping going down. His teammates are calming that he is down, but he also knows that a castle must be watching him. Doesn't want to over-peek. Castle barricade to actually protect Arc from this one. He might be able to finish his kill unless Castle rotates over and he's not ready for it. And he is not ready for it. Round going in the way of UW-Madison. Basically a flawless round. Almost, well, it was a flawless round in terms of kills, but you know, busters did go down, so it wasn't a completely perfect, flawless round. What do you think of that one? What does River Falls have to adjust to get back in the game here? That's 4 rounds in a row.
I think this is just a mental game at this point. I think that the momentum has been lost for UWRF, which is causing them to make some stupid mistakes that shouldn't be made.
Oh, absolutely. Some interesting faces in the player cams. You always love to see it. Some stern faces, some determined faces, and some just smiling, happy to be here, you know. And it's all for fun, but it's also all for the win. You kind of have to have one or the other mindset here.
Madison did take the 4-hour drive to come all the way out here to play us today.
They did. But also River Falls isn't going to – they're not just going to roll over and die even if they're not driving 4 hours for it. If I'm driving 5 minutes for something, I still want it done, and I want it in my favor. But I think River Falls is going to swing back. We're actually back on defense now. In overtime, you switch back once every round for each side. So after this, if River Falls wins and it goes all the way, they will actually be on the attack again, and that is where the rubber meets the road.
Because for this game mindset, map set, you do have to win by 2. You cannot just win by 1.
You can win by 1 if it is after overtime. It can go up to 15 rounds, which means if the scoreboard hits 7-7, that is the last round. So whoever gets 8-7 would be the champion here.
Got it.
Absolutely. It can get confusing here and there. It's very different from other esports, but it makes it so there's higher stakes. You kind of have to show your dominance on one side or the other. River Falls can show their dominance on defense. They have been all game. They won almost all of their defense rounds. I believe it was 5-1. But their attacking rounds, not so much. They've given away 4 of them. In fact, so I don't really know if even if we win this round, if I trust them back onto attack unless they really switch something up. But first things first, we still got to win defense in order to bring it all the way. And it seems like we're going for a rat strat right now. All the walls are getting blown open. Hands have not been thrown yet. I like the Azami play, going back to one of the previous rounds where they had that exact same strategy on top square, Azamiing up the little railing right there with an Aruni gate to defend the southwestern side for the Azami. Azami, Aruni, Aruni, Azami. But Aruni is actually going to be playing Insight rather than assisting Azami. So she's going to be all on her own for that one. They do take out their laser gate next to large square right there onto the balcony. Are they going to have enough grenades? They just swing right in. Nobody is watching IT, able to take out Stewie. A bad misplay right there by River Falls. Are they going to be able to capitalize and bring the man count back? Weecon with the shotgun instead of the Uzi, which is a very surprising pick considering that the Uzi is such a strong gun. And you got to get close enough with that shotgun to do any sort of damage. Equities is still holding strong into the site. Has that 2x sight, so able to duel with any attackers with a large sight. But it looks away and un-ADS is at the worst possible time. Weecon has to retake the site, but it doesn't matter because it's going to go down to a 5v1. Arc, last man alive. And he's not able to do it. Exo with a pre-fire will seal the round and the map for the University of Wisconsin-Madison. A tough fight right there, but they win it in overtime rather than regulation. Not as hard fought of a attacking side, but their defending side was still very prominent. I think River Falls definitely improved from their last game day.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think that they just have to regroup, take a minute to chat and try to figure stuff out, regame, and then we can go back into this, and I think UWF will come back in better, stronger than ever.
Oh, absolutely.
But with this being said, we are going to go into a short little break here. We'll be coming back into map 2, which is going to be Clubhouse.
Oh, Clubhouse again.
Yeah.
Another good one. Same exact map pool we had last time. I'm excited to see how River Falls adjusts. I know all of you guys are. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are on to the second map between University of Wisconsin-Madison and the University of Wisconsin-River Falls. We're on Clubhouse this time. What do you think about this map?
It's one of the maps I actually know back in my days when I was playing Rainbow Six. When I started playing Rainbow Six, Clubhouse just came out, so it's one of those maps that I actually kind of know what's going on.
Oh, nice. Absolutely. This is one of my favorite maps, though. Is saying in the last map day, it's very interesting because it's not necessarily a 5-second meta map. It's more of a roam clear and these constant throughout the round skirmish kind of map, if that makes any sense.
100%. See, my favorite map is House. So.
Well, there you go.
See,
The
House,
smallest
you know,
map.
House, you know, you just get those live actions. You go, boom, boom, boom. You know, it's chaotic. It's fun. Gets the adrenaline pumping.
Well, as Call of Duty, you know, is fast-paced, similar is maps like this, where it's just more of a fast-paced Call of Duty-esque gameplay than it is a strategic CSGO level gameplay. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be fun to watch, a lot of action going back and forth. But the map ban, or the character mods, let's talk about that real quick. The Thatcher ban is huge because River Falls almost always ran Thatcher last map, except for the one time they ran Zero, and that didn't work so well, so they switched back to Thatcher. So a Thatcher ban, probably a counterpick against River Falls. Dokkaebi ban, you know, limiting that roam is very, very important on this kind of map. So when you take out characters such as Jackal and Dokkaebi, it kind of increases the roam presence from the defenders.
100%. I think the Thatcher ban was a response back to UWRF's meta gameplay last game, and I think the Dokkaebi ban was in response back to Madison's play. Madison almost always had a Dokkaebi. Almost every.
Absolutely. I think it is interesting, though, that River Falls was very confident and played very well on defense last time, that the Dokkaebi wasn't necessarily a huge problem. Again, it must have been a problem enough for them to worry about it to ban it. Maybe on this map it's more prevalent just because of how much higher there's a presence in roamers, but I think it's very interesting that they banned Dokkaebi considering that they're actually attacking first, and that's a good operator on the attacking side. You're kind of going to want a Dokkaebi to start off the round to get that confidence going, you know what I mean? So it's weird that they would ban somebody that's useful on their side to start out, but at the same time, they know something that we don't, and they're just very scared of it.
Oh, 100%. You know, Montang here holding this door. You know, Montang very good. Absorbing those bullets. You know, that light shield really does go very well.
Oh, yeah. The Montang is a fierce one-trick in a lot of solo queuers' eyes. That, when you're fighting that and you don't really have a coordinated team, it's going to be very difficult to root out the Montang. It's one of the best 1v1 characters in the game if you know what you're doing. But the Montang strategy is great here. I do think that they should have a Kappa Tower, somebody following up with the Montang, or else there's not going to be much that's going to be done. Weekon is actually soaking up all the shields. How is this Azami not hitting him in the arm or the leg? There are little hitboxes that you can hit when he's unshielded, even when he's crouched. I'm surprised that the Azami has not been able to take him out thus far. Equity's just, you know, takes out Pieb while he's distracted with the Montang, and that is exactly what you want to see. I'm very, very surprised that nobody came to help the Azami in that amount of time. Very, very slow play by River Falls, but from Oil Pit, Stewie gets taken out. Lack of droning on the side of River Falls, just two very bad mistakes from each team that cost them. However, even man count because of both of these mistakes, so we're going to see who can make the least amount of mistakes this round. That's going to be the goal of the game. Who can make one good play here? It looks like the Montang is actually doing the best right now. He's got complete rafter control, can give so much information. He's just a living drone at this point, telling everybody on his team exactly where people are in CCTV, where everybody is on red stairs, and if anybody's playing cash room, such as a smoke or anybody with a C4. And he's giving the call out right now, and the Bandit actually uses a C4. That's a very strange choice from Busters right there, utilizing the Bandit C4 a little early, trying to take out a Montang that clearly sees him instead of going for the plant denial. And now Weekon can just walk around site for free. There's no explosives that can stop him right now. He actually walks over the Legion Trap. I don't know about this pick right now. Weekon might fall right here. He's going to have to back onto a Legion Trap. Oh, but he narrowly avoids it. It was a poor throw from the Legion, and the Diffuser gets planted throughout this entire round. A lot of chaos ensuing, but Ark and Chesney are the first ones, are the only ones to live. Actually, what has happened? Madison has brought this round back on this complete disbelief of myself. I'm very surprised that the defenders were able to win this round after the Montang was walking around CCTV for so long. How did that happen? That was an insane round. The shield operator had complete site control for so long, and UWRF were able to capitalize and get the diffuser down, but the covering fire just wasn't there. I'm surprised that they weren't able to get outside of the breach and hover on that rappel side, but I guess not. The guns were just firing a little bit more accurately on the side of Madison, and the first round goes on blue side. Very mind-boggling round, but we can recover nonetheless. Still on the attacking side, it is a defender-heavy map, so we could chalk it up to that. But we're going into the basement site. This site has the highest win rates for defenders. So it's going to be interesting to see how River Falls attacks this, considering that it is statistically the best site on the map. What do you think about the Finca being brought along? Stewie's playing a lot of different roles and a lot of different characters here.
I have never seen this character before, so I can't really have an opinion.
So Finca is a very interesting character because it's one of the only characters in the game and the only attacker in the game that can heal health back to her teammates. So they're actually going to nerf Finca. That she's not going to get a reload boost when her nanobots are activated. She has 3 charges of the nanobots that gives all of her teammates 20% extra HP, or they heal 20% depending if they've been shot up or not, and increased reload speed and recoil reduction. So a lot of different things that happen when you are Finca stimmed, but the downside to that is that your audio goes a little numb and it's harder to hear footsteps. However, that doesn't really matter when you have a 5-stack and you're running a lot of communication, a lot of drone work. Footsteps don't really matter unless it's in a clutch situation, which even then your Finca has probably fallen by then because the Finca is an entry fragger. You're probably not going to be alive in the later rounds, but hopefully you're going to get a kill before you go. Clearing out construction right now, going through cash room, a very quick top floor take from River Falls.
So if Finca is somewhat able to heal, wouldn't you want to keep Finca alive into the later rounds to allow them to heal?
Yes, but Finca also has... Oh, but the Finca does not know that somebody is playing in shower. And it doesn't matter because none of those nanobots are going to be used. Are they going to be able to weed this player out? Let's see. Am I going to be able to answer your question? I am, because Wecon takes out Exa, and now the round continues a slower pace because the roamer has been cleared out. Yes, Finca is somebody you want in the later rounds, especially if everybody's tagged up, but the reason that she's often picked is to entry frag, because you put your best player on Finca because she has amazing guns, self-heal, a self-revive. She's able to use one of her nanobot charges to revive herself, as well as revive down teammates. But she also uses it because the recoil reduction and the reload speed. And when you're running the best guns on your team, you're going to want to have your Finca player up and personal, getting all of those entry kills, everything like that. So it can be used as a flex character where you kind of want the Finca as a sub-support, or at least a secondary support, along with your hard breach, kind of healing everybody up, holding flanks. But she's a little underutilized there because what we were talking about in the last map is that Rainbow Six Siege is a game where anything can happen in 1 second. You're not really going to get tagged up too much. It's either going to be a kill, whether it's a headshot or a full kill, just like that, like Wecon is demonstrating perfectly right now, or it's going to be kind of a scrap where nobody trades any damage. So Finca's support utility is not outweighed by her utility of healing, right? It's not her ability to kind of sit back and help the support. Her best use, I should say, is the entry frag potential. And it looks like we're actually going right into a few different scraps. Equities takes out Lightless, but not before Lightless takes out one of his teammates. Equities now trying to get the bomb down. Mango is the last one alive. It is the smoke player, but Chesney on the flank watch with great coverage is able to take him out from Arsenal. Good round nonetheless, and the Finca pick, while we talked about it for pretty much the entire round, did not help them at all in that fight. It was able to sniff out the player in showers, but wasn't able to capitalize on the kill, mainly just kind of a human drone. Nonetheless, 1-1 scoreline, favoring River Falls right now, at least in the attacking side.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Let's see if they can pick up some more, or if Madison is going to respond with a pocket strat. It looks like they do, bringing along the Mira.
No one likes playing against the Mira.
No,
Not
absolutely
even your teammates.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, for sure. Even teammates can be frustrated with those mirror placements because they can work both ways. It is a one-sided mirror. However, if the attackers are able to push in and rush strat successfully, they're going to be using those mirrors for the retake situation, and that is going to be extra hard on the defenders. Mirror windows, though, are actually looks like they might be used in dirt tunnel. Now, this is a very interesting strat because they're not often used on walls that can either be destroyed by soft destruction, or they're not put on walls that are strictly reinforced. They're usually put on half and halves, where one wall is reinforced and the one adjacent to it is unreinforced as a soft wall. Which is why it's interesting to put it in dirt, because dirt has two walls, but they're not adjacent to each other. They're both solid hard walls, or you have to keep, you know, one of them as a soft wall, one of them as a hard, but you can't place the mirror on the other and capitalize off of it. So the mirror placements are going to be crucial this round. I don't know exactly what Madison is cooking up, but, you know, we can let them cook and see if she can get another round on the board.
Stewie did switch to Ash this round.
I do like the Ash pick. 0-2 for one of your entry fraggers is not a good look, so bringing along the Ash is probably going to build some confidence just because her strict gunplay is so good. You bring Ash because, yeah, sometimes she has utility usage. It's you know, not as picked as other soft breachers unless you're going up against a great Azami player, which Pieb might be, or unless you're going up against somebody who's very annoying, such as the Azami. It depends on the character and the player, but not often is Ash picked over other soft breachers, so...
Yeah, I personally like playing Ash because I think Ash is a lot of gun skill.
Absolutely.
And coming from a game like Call of Duty, I'm 100% gun skill when it comes to this. So, like, if I can just pick up those soft walls.
Oh, for sure.
And then I'm just going to start ego peeking.
Yep. It's, I don't want to say a brain-dead character, but it's definitely one of the more simple characters to play.
I think Ash is one of those characters where it's simple to play, but if you know how to utilize Ash's charges and util, if you have a crazy good gun skill, I think it's a super high skill ceiling.
Oh, I would agree to that extent as well. I think you want to put your best player on the Ash. Even if they don't have too much game sense, they could be super refined and know when to use their utility all the time, but even if they don't, they're still going to have good gunplay and good mechanical skills, so you're going to want to give them the guns that Ash provides. Now, we're actually getting to a little bit of a scrap trying to use those can openers on the kitchen hatch, but Wecon is unable to get it. The first one gets impacted. Let's see if the second one also gets impacted. It actually might go through right here, and it does. No defenders were able to impact that one out. Even though that Pieb still had one in pocket, he didn't want to risk going up to the pixel peak that Wecon was holding and getting his head ripped off. So maybe a smart play on the side of Madison, maybe not, because now that hatch is open. It all comes down to River Falls' execute. Now, it looks like they're going for a strict moto hatch drop with a little bit of kitchen coverage. This is an interesting one because this is somewhere where you want to have blue covered rather than kitchen, but is he going to be able to break the mirror window? He is, okay, but the mirror then swings and cleans Stewie up. A sad misplay on the side of River Falls, and it was a very disjointed attack. Flawless round going in the way of Madison, excuse me, and River Falls is thrown to the curb.
So, do you think UW, University of Wisconsin, River Falls should stay on the Ash? You think they should mix it up? What are you thinking?
I think that we keep Stewie on the Ash, but I think we switch up the strategy. It seemed like that round was going pretty well. We had good roam clear. We had good utility usage when it came to the hard breach and the can openers, as we saw in the kitchen hatch. But I think that the primary issue is the execute. When it comes to the basement site, the execute is the most important part of the game. And you can argue that for any site, but honestly, when it comes to basement clubhouse, there's no better example. And the interesting part, I'm sure you could make it work, and maybe River Falls had an idea that I wasn't aware of and just floundered the execution, was you need to have 2 points of entry covered when it comes to basement site. And River Falls didn't have that. They went for a kitchen hatch, and then on the completely other side of the map, they had a moto hatch. Now, you kind of have to pick one or the other. You can't do both, which is what they tried to do. And when everybody dropped moto hatch, there was no coverage from main stairs, there was no coverage from blue, and there was no coverage from site itself because it wasn't taken by the attackers. That was still in defender control. So the biggest issue there was the execution. It seemed very disjointed. They only wanted a moto hatch and a kitchen hatch strategy. They didn't want to go dirt. They didn't want to try to go down main stairs. there was just kind of a lot of holes in the attack, and the defenders were able to exploit that perfectly to give a flawless round.
I'm also thinking that maybe UWF should maybe go a little bit more aggro. They've been playing a lot more passive. I think that Madison has realized that they've been playing so passively that if they can maybe turn up the afterburners, go a little aggro, you fully use that Ash util for that, making those entry holes, and kind of the hard push-ups. I think is going to get Madison on that. It's going to give Madison a little bit of a shock and get them off the toes a little bit, and then allows us to capitalize on Madison's mistakes once they kind of get when they get shocked from us being so aggro.
For sure. It seems like we need to, that's what Clubhouse is all about, is those aggressive plays. Like I said, you can't do the 5-second meta like River Falls wanted to do last round on a basement. You need to get into these early engages and get a man advantage off the bat. But it's not going to work out in their favor as Equities falls to Pieb. Pieb playing on the rafters as a zombie. This area is so difficult to attack as an attacker, and they didn't drone out. The bottom of Garage. Is Weekon going to get swung from his right, and does he know about it? Tries to take out the Azami, but the Azami rips his head off first, and it is just a tragedy on the side of River Falls. Stewie trying to push up, make work where he can, but it's a 2v5. There's only so much he can do. Bottom Garage player has dropped off and is playing now on blue stairs, but the Azami is still waiting up top in rafters. Does not know that the Capitao is still here, but the Capitao is the last one on the board. Stewie needs to clutch up in a 1v5 situation. Finds the head of Azami. Not able to take him out, but he does. But Exa is there for
the trade.
The trade. The refrag comes out on the side of Exa. Not a great round on the side of River Falls. We got those early picks from Madison, and it kind of just fell apart.
I would really love to see a more aggressive play style from UWRF. I think they could really benefit them. Takes the whole Madison off the game. Madison's strategy right now is sit and wait.
Oh, for sure. It's kind of
sit and wait. And at the same time, they're kind of playing the clock, and then once the clock is too low, and when UWF finally starts making that move, it's a little too late because now they're getting forced out by that clock.
Mm-hmm. When you're dug in like ticks, you can afford to play a little bit more passively, but Madison seems to want to take these early engagements and still not reap anything for it, just to kind of get in River Falls' head. But then River Falls makes a few oopsies and a few mistakes here and there by misdroning, and those rat players from Madison that are, playing a little bit more of a passive role are able to just get a free kill here and there because they're sitting there, like you said, patiently waiting, biding their time until somebody has a misdrone. And that's something that you can't afford on an attacking side like this. It's 3-1, still able to tie it up to a 3-3 half, but as a defender-sided map, it's more so probably going to swing in the 4-2 direction, but we'll see. River Falls is changing it up with the Osa strat, and I actually like Osa on this map, but not so much this site. It's a very interesting pick for this site.
This is a new UWI having two characters I've never seen before.
Osa is a very interesting one. I'm assuming Osa is one of them. Yeah, Osa has the shield that you can see through. So it's a completely transparent shield unless meleeed, but it is bulletproof, so you're able to plant behind it as long as no explosives come your way, as well as destroy barricades immediately if you know how to Osa trick. But she can also place them onto windows for repel tricking, things such as that. So it's a very versatile character, but a very slow one nonetheless. And it's somebody that you have to have your teammates play around. You can't kind of solo push as an Osa. Her guns are all right. She's got Thermite's AR, but you're mainly going to want to pick her when you have some other fragging potential on the team, such as the Buck and the Zofia. So I think that's why they brought Stewie and Weekon on those fragging characters. Stewie actually, just as I say, it takes the head off of Pieb, and that is a man advantage for River Falls, finally. Surprised this mirror window has not been punched by Stewie yet, but it might be here pretty soon. It gets castled up. I'm not sure why we're waiting here because the reinforcements have not been breached and the castle barricade has not been ripped off, so it is a completely free punch on the mirror window. They're not going to be able to jump through that without an audible sound. but we're playing it slow. This is where the OSA strategy comes into play. We're trying to just play it very, very methodically, going through one player at a time. And Stewie takes down a second one into cash room. Mango falls, and now we have the entirety of the east side map cleared out. Stewie is on a one-man army, and Weekon, the fragger, another fragger, takes out 2. This is why they brought along the Zofia and the Buck, just to frag out. Everyone else is supporting cast. Is Weekon going to be able to get a triple? We're about to see. X is the last one stuck in showers, and no, it's Arc.
Fantastic replay by UWF.
Oh, vaults over, going for a very, very aggressive play through the fire. I'm not sure if that was, you know, just playing for the funsies or playing for the clutch, but nonetheless, the Mira falls, and that round goes in the way of River Falls. Honestly, fantastic adaptation on the side of the red and black. Repping the colors for River Falls. The Falcons fly high today.
Attackers need to locate.
And that is also going to boost their confidence going forward. That's what I'm excited to see is River Falls is good at riding momentum, right? They win one round, they're able to switch it up. They're like, all right, guys, we got this now in the bag, and that kind of locks them in for the next one. So
UWF is definitely, from what I can see, is definitely a momentum-based team. You know, once they start getting that momentum, there's very little that can stop them. But they need to have that momentum, and as soon as that momentum hits, they're gonna hit you like a truck.
Oh, absolutely. That's why they won a ton of rounds their last play day on the back of Stewie, because Stewie was just on a tear during the first map of Nighthaven, and that was the momentum they rode. So this time around, it's actually going to be Weekon and Stewie, the fragging combo, the wombo combo, as they say. Oh, the deadly duo. Can't be stopped. 3-4, 4-4 right now. It doesn't seem like a lot as the scoreboard, but those frags are so powerful in the rounds that were won by River Falls. Still down by 1 round, but able to scratch it back to a 3-2. I think we're going to be able to get a 3-3 half, which you're going to be sitting nice as the attackers if you tie it up on your attacking half. I think that the introduction of the Ram is my favorite part. If you look on the side of River Falls, we have a huge overhaul of last time's strat, but Exa takes out Stewie. You do not want to miss your gridlock player on this part of the map. Can we get a refrag here? Doesn't seem like it. Exa takes him out in blue stairs, and nobody's there for the answer. Still not a lost cause, though. We can still claw this one back. With a fuse on the board, anything is possible. Take out all the utility and clear out all those lurkers, as long as we have top floor control, which it looks like we're getting. Bailiff coming in handy. Habana pellets as well, taking out those outside walls, giving us entry into the map. Still 2 can openers in the pocket of Weekon. Let's see if he's going to be able to use them. Now, I'm talking up all of the destruction here, but in case you didn't know, the character that they're bringing along, Ram, Chesney's player, has a gadget that is, in my opinion, a little overtuned right now. I'm surprised it's not getting nerfed. It's this large vehicle, well, larger than a drone, I should say, that busts through all of the soft floor and soft walls in front of it for about 50 meters, or until it hits something that it can't go through. And the only way to destroy it is either blowing it up or shooting the canister on the back of it. So lots and lots of destruction going to come out here on the side of River Falls. They're going to get a lot of that floor opened up and hopefully get a pick through it. Ooh, and this is why the fuse is so good. He's able to cover his own can opener and his own hatch opening by simply popping down one of those fuse charges. Nobody's able to get close enough to impact trick it. And so now the kitchen hatch is open. The question is River Falls going to learn from the last time they attacked this site? The last time they attacked it, they dropped Moto Hatch and they dropped Kitchen Hatch, which is probably the worst attack you can do on this site. You need to have blue control or main stairs control first, and if you're going to drop Kitchen Hatch, you need to have dirt control. If dirt control is not in the hands of the attackers, you cannot drop Kitchen Hatch, because somebody is definitely going to be playing E-Box, and it's not going to be an attacker. Ooh, a great shot by Weekon. Answers back, but Busters is able to take out Equities. The support player is now down. Lightless takes out the last one, and Busters to clean up for a 4-0 win on this round for Madison, but it is a 4-2 half. Not horrible for River Falls, but, you know, not good either. Pretty much what you'd expect statistically from this map. But going on to the defense side, it is a defense-sided map. River Falls should be able to clean up a few here and tie up the game. Ooh, and here's another pick that I really like is the Maverick on the side of
Defenders, protect your
Madison.
bombs from being defused by attackers.
Maverick's going to be an interesting one to put on your best fragger right now. 8-2 for Exa on a support role such as Maverick. But his gun still can hit when his blowtorch isn't out. So as long as he's able to use it very, very infrequently or only when a hard wall absolutely needs it and he's not taking out any hatches, which he shouldn't when it's a top floor objective like this, he should be good to go to frag out like he has been the past few rounds. But Maverick is going to be very hard to deal with on the defender's side. That's why I'm glad Ark brought the Mira, is because once the Maverick is able to pop open Jacuzzi wall, the Mira is still going to be there to deny them entry. And I think that's why there was a counter to the counter. That's why we're bringing an Ace for another hard breacher. And that Ace is a perfect pick to counter Mira. Great adaptation on the side of Madison. Yeah, I'm noticing also that Busters is actually bringing along the Brava. Brava is another interesting attacker that I love to play, as well as watch nonetheless. Brava is another drone operator, similar to Ram, whereas her drone can bust through walls and soft floors. Brava's drones are a little bit more clever in the way that they execute. They are just as big, if not, I guess, a teeny bit smaller, but they are bigger and definitely louder. But Brava's drones are interesting because they don't destroy anything, such as Ram and Flores' drones, but they are able to hack defender gadgets, turning them against the defenders. So any camera is not going to be safe for River Falls. All the Malusi gadgets could be hacked and slow down all the defenders. And those Kaid claws, once they're hacked, well, the electricity will still be there, but any defender that comes into contact is going to get zapped. So this is a huge soft wall play right there. Maverick tricked perfectly. I'm surprised that Ark was not able to shoot the feet out of the Maverick, but must not have been able to get an angle. And the Buck is able to tear that wall up right away. Interestingly enough, even though that the reinforcement is gone from the Maverick, the wooden wall is still electrified, so any attacker that's going to walk through that is still going to get a little bit of a tickle. And definitely more than a tickle if Ark is going to sit on this Mira. They're going to get a face full of lead if they walk through there. A little slower paced here from Madison. Kind of just assessing the situation. How do we weed River Falls out of their positions? Half the round has been expended. Only a minute 10 left. He's able to see the Buck. Is he going to go for the swing here? Ark sees him. It's all about the pre-fire and the angles. If you're playing Mira, you have to understand how Peeker's advantage works, because the more you turn, the depth of field of whatever wall you're looking at depends on where you're going to shoot. If it's a farther away field, you need to aim a little bit more to the left. If it's a closer field, you need to aim more to the right. And Equities understands the mission perfectly. That's why he takes one out, but Busters and Lightless answer by taking out Weecon and Equities himself. 3-4 situation, but it is back to 3-3 because Stewie is on the flank. What a fantastic way up red stairs. Nobody's watching that. Where is the drone work from Madison here? Stewie's able to get a free one on the flank, and now they have to worry about him before they move forward, and they do. Exa is able to glare. Oh, my goodness. Just clean Stewie up. Beautiful shot in pre-fire, but Ark is still in this position. Can he take out the Buck? The Buck vaults through, and he is. Downs him, but now he's the last one alive, sitting into showers, unable to clutch. Buster walks through River Falls.
Now we're going into a map spawn flip.
5-2 score line favoring Madison, but again, it is still defender-sided. We're going to see if River Falls can learn how to adapt to these attacks and play more as a team. Play for those refrags, because when one player falls on the defense, you need to answer back immediately, or else the attackers are going to be able to set up.
Yeah. Now that we're seeing Maverick come in, you want to go in a little bit of detail how Maverick can read the info command from Madison's side?
Maverick is a very interesting character nonetheless. You can get hatches open using that blowtorch. You have to expend, I believe, 2 barrels for 1 hatch, but he can still do it nonetheless. Maverick is a little bit nicer because of the synergy that works well when something such as Thatcher is banned, right? He can work well with other characters like Buck and Sledge, because if Thatcher's banned or any other anti-gadgets are not brought along, EMP grenades, he can get those electrified walls open just with the blowtorch by removing the reinforcement. Now what that does is that the wooden wall is still there, the wall still exists, but it is no longer reinforced as long as Maverick can seal the entire top and seal the entire bottom with his blowtorch. Then Bucker Sledge can come along and blow up the entire soft wall. So I think that's why they're opting for the Maverick right now, is because Thatcher is just off the board, so no hard breach is going to be able to get through that unless they bring EMPs on, say, a Lion or something. But I don't think they're going to be able to fit Lion into this comp. They're too busy focusing on roam clear. And Lion is good for roam clear, but not as good as Jackal. I think that's why they're bringing Jackal along as well, is for that single play that Stewie did last round, is that Stewie was on that hard flank and they didn't know that he was roaming. So the Jackal is going to be a good counter for that. Another slower round. 2 minutes left. Arc does take half of his health. I'm not sure where he's playing at right now. Oh, he went for a pre-fire on the exact same positioning in the showers. But we have a Malusi gadget here now. So if the Brava can get her hands on it, it's going to slow the defenders. But if the attackers get it, it should be Jacuzzi Wall for free. And that is another reason why they brought the Ash, though, is because the Ash explosions can actually crack Mira windows without getting within melee range. Weecon almost takes out Mango, just shoots his legs up, but Busters on the other side of the map takes out Chesney. The Malusi is down, but her gadgets have already been deployed. Her usefulness has been run out. But Pieb is not happy enough with that, takes out Arc on the shower position, and now River Falls needs to get back to site because their only anchor player is down. Equities falls. Nobody's left on site. Can Madison push in? Do they have the information? They do. Pieb starts the plant. Weecon, Stewie, you guys need to move. The plant is going down in a 2v5 situation. It was a 2v4 for a second, but now it's a retake. Are they going to know the positions? Stewie does take out one. Push the bottom of this window. He's going to be able to get the Jackal. Nobody playing in showers. That comm goes out. Stewie's trying to peek the Jackal. Takes him out with a great headshot, but Weecon jumps out the window and gets a Claymore in the face. All those hot pellets are getting taken out in Exile around the backside on red stairs. Backshot Stewie. And now it is map, match, and series point for Madison. Can River Falls claw it back? What do you think?
I think UWRF obviously can do it. They are fantastic players, all 5 of them. They're really good players. It's really going to depend on if they can start showing up as a team. It's starting to look like UWF is starting to get frustrated with one another. It looks like communication is starting to break down in the game. Looking like they're trying to take off peaks and they're not really playing together. But I think if the Coach Jackson can really get the players starting to communicate again, start playing as a team, start building up that momentum, I really think that UWF can come back from this. You just need to get UWRF on the same page. You gotta get them on the same page. Once they're on the same page and playing together, they'll do fantastic. Rainbow 16, out of all the esports that UWRF offers, it's the most team-focused game. If you're not playing as a team, not communicating, you're not gonna win. There's just no way to do it. This game is 100% strategic talk. Like, you need to have a team. You can't. There's no way you're gonna be able to solo everything because logistically, this game is 100% team-based. Like, you can pop off, but like at the same point, like, it's not gonna be like Call of Duty where you can one-man army. It's not gonna be like any of those. You need to be playing as a team.
For sure, there can be clutch players and clutch plays here and there, but it is definitely all about communication and the team play behind it. There is no I in team. You want to be able to work around your peers. You want to know where they're going to be, where they're going to be positioned, and how they're going to react to that position. And you need to all do that in less than 2 seconds. So it's a very, very fast-paced execute game. When there's a lot of comms going on, you need to be able to isolate, and you need to know when to shut up as well. So it's all about knowing who's going to talk, who's not going to talk, and I think communication is key, like you said, going into that teamwork aspect of it. River Falls looks like they're playing a very, very hard roam composition. 2 players actually on top floor, 1 on first floor, and only 2 anchoring. And this is what we call the space station roam. This has been working time and time again for the past 2 years on Clubhouse, is watching into sight with the, well, now introduced Solus, which has made this roam even more powerful, looking into sight from the top floor, because all the floors are destructible on this map that lead into basement sight. So should be a lot of good angles to prevent the attackers from taking any vertical destruction, which on this map you need all the hatches open and you need some vertical destruction to smoke some of those players out, and you can't do that when there's even more enemy players above you, not just below you. So I think that's another reason why. Oh, and the blitz actually jumps into the window, and Wecon is there for the crossfire. Great teamwork by River Falls. That is the exact adaptation that we wanted to see. Good communication right there. Calming that the blitz is going to be jumping into the window and facing me is exactly what the Solus of Stewie needed to do. He needed to call that out to his teammate, Wecon, who is roaming up top with him, so Wecon could get an angle and shoot him in the side. Unsure why Mango decided to jump in without a teammate. Usually when you're playing blitz, you want to run at them, but at least with a team member so they can still shoot behind you or give you some sort of covering fire. Equitis with a C4 from down low takes out both of the dirt players. Great double kill right there by Equitis. That might actually cement them around. Knows that somebody's on the hatch and calms out Diffuser. Now all the defenders should be making their way back to site. This is the only thing that really matters. Wecon can stay up top because they were already third floor. It's going to be harder to rotate, especially with all these drones out. But Equitis has sight on Case. That is the only thing that matters in the attacking side and the defending side.
UW are playing very well. The teamwork is definitely coming back, but it's not over yet. Madison can still come back. I mean, it's time to kill in this game is so short that Madison can.
Oh, it doesn't look like the bomb. He did not know where Stewie was, and that is the communication that River Falls was lacking. And now it looks like Madison is picking up on that same curse. Not communicating, not droning out. They don't know where any of these roamers are still, and that's the power of the third floor roam on this site. Last player falls in dirt. And that is finally a round on the board for River Falls. Excellent communication and textbook roam strategies. I love that on the basement site. We don't have 3 people down there. We don't need somebody lurking. Maybe somebody can play blue, but we don't need anybody moto. We just need 2 players on the 3rd floor and 1 player on the 1st floor to calm. And that is all we need. And they played that perfectly. Looks like we're getting a lot of hype in the player cams too. They're locked in. They're dialed in. Ready to take the next one as well. Definitely some words of wisdom coming out from the coach there after that win.
Oh,
riding
yeah,
high, River Falls. And that's the coach diff right there. He must have been telling them, like, guys, we can ride off the backs of each other. You know, we don't need to go for these solo plays. All we need to do is know our strats, know our macro, and know our team. And that's exactly what we did last round. That's why Wecon and Stewie were playing together on that top floor, was just for the teamwork aspect of it. Even if no gunfights were won, crossfires were still able to be set up to slow down the attackers.
100%.
5 seconds left before
Awesome round coming from the side of River Falls, but there's still a long way to go. 6-3 scoreline is not looking good. Still need to claw back 3 more rounds just to get to overtime.
It's going to be difficult, but I think it's a fight that UWRF is going to be able to compete.
Now, I think this is a very interesting play is, yeah, the Azami is pretty standard, and the Kaid is very standard for CCTV sites such as this. But the Wamai, we don't see a lot of Wamai, and I think it's slept on. We did see it once from Madison on their defending side, but that was pretty much it. Wamai is so good for this site, and hardly any people run it. He did bring impacts, but you mainly want to play him not for the explosive or for the gun skill or anything like that, but just to keep him on those magnets and magnet duty. That's all he wants. He wants them to keep charging in his backpack and throw them out throughout the round. You're not really worried about denying anything with explosives. You're not worrying about fragging out with the gun. All you want him to do is catch those Capitao arrows or any grenades that are coming up towards Wecon's position. And I think that's exactly what River Falls needs. This is more coverage that we were talking about. This is more of that team play. Okay, I know you're going to be playing Azami. The hardest part for you is going to be all those grenades and fireballs and everything cast your way. I'm going to throw some of those magnet gadgets up at you, and they're going to defend you. You got to hold rafters with your life. Looks like Ark is going to go through for a little cheeky shots. Not taking him, though, with the SMG-11. Didn't even want to do a little bit of damage to alert the presence of the mute, but now it's too late. The support player rappels up to the top, and now the prey is out of reach for Ark. An unfortunate miss. Chesney hears the blowtorch. Might go for the swing here while the Maverick tricks, but there is coverage on the side of the Jackal. If Chesney doesn't play this right, the Jackal is going to catch her right off guard. That is something we cannot afford to lose as the Castle player in construction. Once that falls, Cash Room is vulnerable. And Equities will most likely have to rotate out of his position just to cover construction. Looks like Buster is actually going to be pushing up with the Osa, most likely the Osa shield as well. But again, Castle is going to be the playmaker here for this round on the side of UWRF. The game decider, the difference here. They're not going to try and take out Rafters. Madison seems a little too smart for that. They're like, nope, too many Azamis and too many Magnets. But Lightless actually gets a pick onto that Castle player that I was talking about. No, now nobody's going to be able to play construction. They're going to be able to walk into cash for free and set up all of these crossfires with the Osa shield. This is very, very risky for River Falls to not have somebody rotate over there. Equities is in a very precarious spot. Anybody vaults into that window, there's nobody that's going to be able to cover him. Arc is too busy dealing with Red and Breach. And Rafters is still definitely going to be dealing just with Rafters. But Pia misses the pre-fire. No droning on the side, but it doesn't matter because the kill feed comes up blue. Mango and Busters each get a pick. Stewie on the flank does take out one. 3 seconds left. The diffuser has to be dropped. Equities and Stewie are last on site. And nobody catches the diffuser. Another round for River Falls. Great team play right there. And that was all about communication. Even though that the picks were swinging in the way of Madison, we got the diffuser down, and that's all that matters. Good round on River Falls. Honestly, very, very chaotic, very much of a scrap, but fun nonetheless. Wecon going back onto that castle. This is another interesting thing that I've been bringing up. They might be really good at these characters. They know the placement or they know the guns, but it's interesting to see your top 2 performers being put on support roles like this. I guess they just know something we don't, allowing maybe Stewie to try and catch up to Wecon in the kill department, but they're doing just fine so far. 2 more rounds to hit overtime. Let's see if River Falls can do it on another defensive round. Going to bedroom here. Bedroom gym. Good strategy right now. Opening up the footholes, going into gym. Not able to get any headlines of sight, but if anybody's prone trying to plant, they're going to get shot out very quickly. The Mira is actually not going to be brought along, even though the Ash was, so I'm interested to see why Piev is going to bring along the Ash when it's not going to have a whole lot of utility, unless it's just to take out those Malusi gadgets, which even then, it might just be better to get within melee range, depending on where Chesney puts it, most likely Jacuzzi side wall. But no Mira, like I said, so there's not going to be a lot of information on the east side of the map. River Falls is going to have to be blind for this one. Probably go off of instinct and just pure team communication, which is risky. It's very, very high risk, high reward, where if it can be capitalized, then it throws the attackers for a loop, you know, because they're not used to having this lack of communication. There's no Mira, there's no point in bringing the Ash. So in reality, River Falls can bring an extra piece of utility, which is whatever they want. In this instance, it's the Malusi. So we're going to see. The Maverick is going to be able to get this wall opened up regardless. River Falls actually brought 3 anti-breach operators, Mute, Kaid, and Bandit, but it doesn't matter. Maverick can counter all of them because no wall is safe from a Maverick unless you put a bullet in his head. That's just simply the fact of the matter. He can get open any wall, even if it's cryo-frozen. So that's how Jacuzzi wall is originally going to fall. But Wecon takes the first swing and takes out Busters. The Brava is taken down, and no more utility can be hacked on the side of the attackers. Stewie with another engage on Rafters. Sees the player, but unable to capitalize. Is he going to go for another peek here? It's very, very risky. No. He simply dives back and goes with his duo partner, Wecon. Stewie and Wecon now trapped into cash room, but it's honestly not that bad of a position as long as the attackers cannot get a crossfire set up. Stewie, you need to be watching red stairs right now. If this attacker is able to pop back up and take out Stewie, that's it for the game. A missed C4. Oh, but a good reflexes there by Stewie. Takes the head off of Mango. Now 2 more players are going to try and get into a crossfire, but the castle barricade is stopping the easternmost side player, but it doesn't matter because Light takes out. That ARX does so much damage for so few bullets. Now it's just Wecon left to defend cash room. Sees the first player, unable to land the shots, but does get Lightless down to 1 health. Even man advantage. Equities trying to pre-fire. Unable to land the shots. The Ash player just backs up to main stairs. Going for a shower take right now. Trying to creep up. Oh, but the C4 might go big, but it doesn't. Oh, but it does. It's a trade. Able to get the C4 off before Pieb can take him down. 2-2 now. Is Ark going to be able to flick fast enough? No, he is not. And it is up to Chesney in a 1v2 clutch retake situation. Once that diffuser goes down, it's just going to be a 1v1 between Lightless and Chesney. Chesney needs to push now. And is not going to. Is going to instead play for the retake, which is not going to be easy on this site because of all the angles she'll have to watch. And a good round that is pulled back by Madison, but a devastating one for the side of UWRF. They're going to be going back to the drawing board for that. 7-4 victory. The map, match, and game goes to Madison. A good series from them and an opportunity for River Falls to learn from their mistakes. What do you think about those games? Two maps that went back and forth, but it seemed
I genuinely, UWF, they have to go back to the drawing board, kind of catch up. They just need to really work on communication. It seems like the communication breaks down the game.
Oh, absolutely. There can be some more mechanical skill involved as well. Maybe some flicks just weren't on point, or maybe some reaction times need some more testing in the aim trainer, but at the same time, like you said, it can't all just be down to mechanical skill. There has to be some sort of team aspect and communication component, right? There has to be a way to further our gameplay by working off of each other. And I think that they adapted very well during those rounds that they won, and even some that they lost. There was a really good adaptation in the team comp and the gadget usage.
Oh, 100%. I think that UWF is a great team. They just have to work on some few mechanics, and I think they'll come back stronger than ever.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that is all for today. That is the series wrapped up 2-0 going in the way of Madison, but River Falls will come back better. They already have from their last match, so, I'm excited to see where they go. That is all we'll have for this week to close it out on Saturday. Great games. What do you think?
I think great games. We'll be coming back, I believe, Monday for a League of Legends match. Oh, for the Wisconsin Esports Conference for Rocket League.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be in person in a huge exposition, I assume. It's going to be a lot of fun. You guys are taking a 5-hour trip for that, I believe, correct?
4 hours and 30 minutes.
4 hours and 30 minutes. I round up, but that's just me. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Down.
Don't forget to tune in on Monday as well. It's going to be a blast. We'll see you there, and thank you for tuning in. Have a great night and a great weekend.